so you can understand what we're dealing with. First and foremost, the CRA is founded by state law, and it is our job to eliminate slum and blight. It is our job to work with developers to come into Overtown and Park West to better both communities. We did not give Miami Borough Center 1 penny. They bought their own land. What they came to the CRA and said is, listen, we have to pay taxes because the CRA is funded as a derivative of property taxes. And if we pay a certain amount of taxes, can we get some of that money back to support our development? So if they don't generate the tax base, if they don't build the project, they don't get a penny. Any penny they get back, they had already given to us, and we give some of that back. The question is, it is rightfully raised, what are we getting for that money that you're giving them back? Right? I'll stick to the subject matter because I can go with this one, right? But when we're talking about wages, and I talked to Mike Hill about this, you have an obligation, if you're going to leave, to tell the full story. There is a distinction between minimum wages, living wages, and responsible wages. There is a distinction, okay? We never started out with minimum wages.
They started out with minimum wages.
Right. So let's be truthful. We have living wages and responsible wages.
That's not true.
Okay?
We have enhanced living wages.
Living wages, right. Plus the law. So first and foremost, there is no minimum wage agreement that we cut. That's the truth, right? So when you say people need to make a living, on the paper also, the last thing I said, Commissioner, you got to come up here. On the paper it says something about certain communities will not benefit. The first priority is Overtown in the redevelopment area. We have something in agreement called stratification, where we went and looked at all the property areas, and we gave a priority on where these jobs must come from. And it started with Overtown, and it expanded out to all the areas in the communities that had low poverty numbers. High poverty numbers. So when you say that certain people will not benefit, the opportunities are there. Is it the perfect agreement? Of course not, particularly if you're on the sideline, right? Could we have gotten more? We tried, but it is a good agreement. We have set the precedent. And for all you developers here, be put on notice that what's in this agreement, when your project come up, you're going to have to do that plus some. Commissioner, you want to come up?
This is so hard for me. It's hard for me because I'm so passionate about what I believe in, right? When the World Center deal first came to my team, this was a deal that had been worked for a very long time. They owned all their land. They were ready to start building in our community. And what they wanted to pay us was minimum wage. So if you wanted to hold a sign, you were going to get minimum wage. The whole concept of stratifying the earning incomes came because that's what we had to come to an agreement to do. So what does that mean? We know something called living wage. Living wage is actually set at a certain dollar. It's usually about $10.58 for, I believe it's without insurance, $11 and something with insurance, something with that scheme. So I said, well, in this deal, I didn't start with living wages. I started with every single person working, getting responsible wages. That was my demand. My demand was everyone receiving a responsible wage, which would give us the opportunity to not just train electricians, but plumbers and the other trades. Because what it would do is it gives us the ability to take people who need jobs, train them, give them a job on this, but then give them a career moving forward. To me, sound like a win-win. You know what they said to me? No. You know what they said to me? No. They showed me how much more expensive it would be to do that. I said, so what? Make it happen. We pushed and we pushed and we pushed. They didn't want to give us any responsibilities at all. Until the very last day, we had the developer and his partner, the one that's doing the mall part, about to walk away. But I kept pushing because I believe in what I'm doing. Because you know what I said at the end of the day? If they walk away because they don't want to pay a responsible wage, then so what? Because I knew the community would support me in that. Because we're demanding better wages for the people. Period. So, in the end, the final deal was there on the table as it pertains to wages. Someone says, I say, well, at least give me two. Give me the electricians at responsible wage, and give me, I can't remember if it was the plumbers or the plumbers at a responsible wage. And I'll be able to possibly increase the tip to help you do that. And the reason I'm willing to make those type of compromises is because Wilson never saw this coming. They never saw it coming. When they got their finances together, then no one had ever said to them, you're going to need to pay our people, not $8 an hour, but $12. So if you're holding a flag, if you have a high school education, or not even that, if you have a middle school education, you're from this community, you're holding a flag, you're getting paid $12 an hour. $4 more than you would normally get. Not because they're willing to give it to you, but because I demand it. That's not even living wage. That's what we call, I've coined this new term called enhanced living wages. There's not one, and not just this project. From this project, living wages, and the Skyrise project, every single project I've ever had a hand in negotiating has always been where the poorest people in our community get more dollars in their pocket. Because that's how the money hits the street. So I'm saying that to you to say, you got enhanced living wages. That doesn't even exist yet. No one's even heard of it. And you got responsible wages. Not because I wanted someone to have enhanced living wages, but because we couldn't get it for everyone. Because what we have to do is, you have to understand this. The land that we're talking about over there is blight. Not some, but blight. Blight means that there's no development whatsoever on that land. That we need something to go there to enhance the property values so that we can get more tax money so we can do more things in our community. So my goal, in just that little section of it, when it comes to the salaries, is to put more money in your pocket. And name another project in the city of Miami that you got responsible wages on. I'll wait. Tell me another project in this community right now. Tell me another project that you get $12 on. I'll wait. Tell me what 13 projects, and let's be real about it. There's some development agreements. For instance, the church, not I won't call it the church, the CDC of the church. How much is the deal? How much money from the CRA is the church getting from us? $10 million. You know how much they pay their workers? That's not written out yet. It's not there yet. So they're going to pay like other developers pay, but they negotiate. And what developers do is they put the salaries down to the lowest that they can. But I'm the only commissioner on the city of Miami. I'm the only commissioner on the board that's ever demanded these types of salaries for our people. Not only that, but in the city of Miami as a whole, guess what's on the agenda right now? Responsible wage ordinance. Did you know about that? We have our first reading, it passed. Now we have our second reading. And you know what we need? We need people like you to come out to the city to tell the commissioners that we need responsible wages for all of our projects. Our big thing is poverty. The meeting, so to be clear, the meeting is February 26th at 4:00 p.m. So, and it's at City Hall, 3500 Pan American Drive. So the REIT, 3,500 Pan American Drive, time certain 4 o'clock. So in this agreement, did the plumbers get responsible wages? No. Did well, it's not hotel workers, they're not. Hotel workers are not in this one. I'm talking about the construction part. But I'll get there. I will get there. I will get there. So the bottom line is, name me in English. I'm getting
What about Johnny Garcia overtime resident?
I'm getting there.
Yeah.
Getting there. So I understand. I'm like this because I'm so. You don't understand how passionate I was fighting to get what we have, and the fight that we have to get responsibilities throughout the city. Because the reason that you even have language that even talks about the zip codes that are high poverty is because guess who? The city never even had a discussion about poverty. $1.25 million for a poverty district for the city of Miami for the poverty zones. You think that came before me? No. No. It did not happen. So right now, the reason that we were having a discussion about poverty, the reason that we're discussing salaries, the reason that this stuff is on the agenda for our community is because we're the district commissioner. So what we have to do is come together behind our district commissioner and make those demands. There's nobody in here that wants to meet with me about this deal or maybe requests for this deal that didn't get to meet with me. Certain demands that organizations liked to have that were a part of this negotiation, that they passed the information, a lot of their things got into the deal. When you talk about people who convicted felons, that was one of our big things too. If you're a convicted felon, can you get a job? Guess what? There's language in there that if you're a convicted felon, they cannot deny you because of that. Guess who did that? Hey.
Thank you.
Right, so I'm just going to bring all this stuff that's in there. So what I'm saying to you all is that I'm committed to fighting poverty in my community. I'm committed to getting my people jobs. I'm committed to seeing development happen in this community. As a matter of fact, when you walk all the time, you see buildings going up. Name the last time you saw a building going up in no time.
I'll wait. I'm right there by the train station.
So what about South Park?
You went to biotech or?
Man, I'm talking about the residents. I'm talking about the people that live in the world. I'm talking about building affordable housing. That's what this is about. So all I'm saying to you all is this. Let me get out of here. I'm standing up, Pastor. This your show. It's your show. What I'm saying to you all is this. When it comes to fighting for this community, I don't need a camera. I don't need a reporter. All I need is a room, and a seat with the person that's going to be writing checks. And we'll get what we deserve in this community. We haven't had this type of progress on the development committee. Listen, who ever heard that language called best efforts? You have to make your best efforts to meet these goals, and if you meet those goals,
I sued them for it.
because you know why? Because the community says it means what? Nothing. In this deal, is there a best efforts in this deal? No. The people shall perform in this way. And the punishment for not performing, in the past, like the lawyer for them said this to me. He said, Commissioner, it's always been $2,500 per percentage point when they don't meet their goal. It's never been a point of discussion. You know what I said to him? $100,000 per percentage point. He almost had a heart attack. You know, we settled on up to $50,000 per percentage point. Think about this. In the past, it used to be one goal. We would have a goal for, say, 25%. That would be the goal. Not only did we create one goal, but we had subcategories of goals. So now we're going to hit them in a lot of different places if they don't do what they're supposed to do by us. Is this agreement perfect? Mr. Shawty said, no. But it's a step in the right direction for this community. And when you talk about, now they're on notice. Before they weren't on notice. But now any development that comes before me now, especially if we have some development, we can say, listen, what do you mean you want to pay me responsible wages? That's what we do in overtime. responsible wages. We got worse than the responsible wages. They told me when I first came into this commission that they couldn't change the language about reasonable efforts. They said the banks won't finance us with that language. I'm telling you, no lie. They won't finance us. You look at that language now, it's gone. So that's the type of progress we're making in these agreements. So this one thing, it's not perfect, but I will tell you this, and I do not excuse my French, it's damn sure a lot better than everything we ever had before in this community. A whole lot better. So all I'm saying to you, no. If you want to ask me questions, I ask questions.
Respectfully, Commissioner, thank you for sharing what you shared. However, we wouldn't be having this meeting if this community was a part of the negotiation. That drives the train is the engine. Listen. Excuse me, I have the floor. Because you see, the issue becomes the accessibility that we as constituents